Hey there, Sharon Peterson here, and I am getting ready to thin this little row of beets that's behind me. I actually started and then I thought, oh, I should get a video. So what I do is when I planted these beets, of course they're a little tight, and that's kind of normal, and you usually thin them out when they're just a few inches high. But I didn't get to this row, and so I'm doing it now, which is just fine. I've done this in past years too. You get busy and you miss things. And so what I'm doing is I am thinning them now, and what I am going to end up with is I'm going to end up with some baby beets that I can go ahead and use for dinner. I could save these greens and we could eat them. We're not big on beet greens, and so these will probably go to the chickens. I will save a small amount for myself, but my husband's not big on beet greens. So it's not a waste because I get all of this instead of just pulling them when they're just an inch or two tall. So let me turn my camera around here, and then I will show you what I've got going on in my container down here, or my raised bed. It's not a container, it's a raised bed. That's my raised bed. You can see how tall the plants are. They're not huge, but if you look down at the base here, let me see if I can get a close-up, you can see, hopefully, that these beets are pretty close, and they're going to be crowded and they're not going to get very big if I leave them that way, or they'll be all misshapen. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and I'm going to leave like little clusters, but I'm going to go ahead and pull just sections, leaving some and taking some out and just thinning them out. So for instance, here's two here. I'm going to go ahead and leave those two. There's a little space, but then there's a big group right here. So I'm going to reach in and just pull some of these out. And those are big enough. I'll go ahead and boil them and skin them, and we'll have little beet bites, I guess you could call them, just baby beets for supper. So there's that one. We'll leave this one here. This one here I will pull out. There's another one. And then after I've pulled out, you know, the ones that I want to take, let me get this one out here too. Now that one's kind of small, but that's all right. Then I'm going to go ahead and try to do this one-handed, but I'm going to take the dirt and just kind of push it down and make sure any holes just kind of get filled up. Now when I am done with this row, it's going to look a little scraggly because, you know, some of them are going to fall over, and it's just going to look much thinner because I'm taking out a bunch of the greens as well as the beets. But that'll give me much better beet harvest when the season is over. We'll have some beets in the meantime. So when I'm planting my beets, I should show you. I try to do a succession planting. So all of these beets were planted really early, the ones in this section here. And then I planted another section here, like I'm guessing 2 or 3 weeks later. And then I actually have a little row right here of a different type of beet that I planted about 2 weeks after that one. That just spreads again. It's another way to spread out the harvest so everything's not ready all at once. And in the center between those 2 rows of beets were my onions, and they're already toppling over, getting ready to be done for the season. And here's that same row of greens, or of beets, after I have thinned them and harvested what I wanted out of it. Here's the little pile of beets that I got to take in and cook, and a little handful of greens for myself. Thin your beets, you'll get baby beets for supper, and you'll have bigger beets later. Hope this was helpful. Talk to you later. Bye.